Sheikh, Electrical and Electronics Engineering Department, St. Peter's Engineering College. Study and transient state stability of electric drive. What is meant by a steady state stability? Changes from the state of equilibrium takes place slowly and the effect of either the inertia or the inductance is insignificant is called steady state stability. Transient dynamic or transient stability, sudden and fast changes from equilibrium state. That means we cannot estimate, we cannot control very easily. That particular cannot be neglected also. So affect both inertia and inductance cannot be neglected. That we call it as a dynamic or transient stability. Criteria for steady state stability: let the equilibrium of the torques and speed is Tm, Tl and omega. The small derivatives are delta Tm, delta Tl and delta omega after the displacement from the equilibrium state to the torque equation becomes. Then we are going to take all the combinations together and equating it to 0. Steady state and transient stability, how we are going to do: consider the small deviation. Changes can be expressed as a linear function of change in speed. From the torque equation, where all quantities are expressed in terms of their deviations from the equilibrium. Steady state, this is delta Tm, Tl and Gd, moment of inertia. We are going to consider all these are on a mathematics, where delta omega is the initial value of the deviation in speed. For the stable, it must be negative, so speed increment will be disappear with the time. The exponent will always be negative. The criteria for the steady state stability is for a decrease in the speed, the motor torque must exceed the load torque, and for increase in speed, the motor torque must be less than the load torque. Load torque results in a stable equilibrium point, and the load torque results in an unstable situation. This is an load torque and t, t, not this graph shows the characteristics of the load torque, how it will be going to be and varies with respect to time. To check the stability at an operating point of the motor, if an increase in speed brings greater increase in load torque than the motor torque, the speed will tends to, here TL means load torque, Tm means motor torque. If it is increases in the speed, if it is to check the stability at an operating point of the motor, if an increase in speed brings greater increase in load torque than the motor torque, the speed will tend to decrease and return to its original value. So operating point will be stable point, else operating points will be an unstable point. This is the characteristics. How we are going to select a power rating motor? It must be depends upon the heating and cooling curves. Thermal model of motor for heating and cooling. Initially it will be going to be an heating up to some particular time. After some time again it will be going to into a cooling action. Motor cooling is characterized by a separate cooling time constant CTC for running and stopped motor states. Typically ratio stops running to an CTC. Thermal model for an heating and cooling. An electric motor and drives operate. There is a generation of heat inside the motor. The amount of heat generated inside the motor should be known as accurately as possible. That's why the thermal modeling of motor is necessary. The material of the motors and the shapes and size of the motors are not unique, but the generation of heat does not alter very much depending on these characteristics. So a simple thermal model of any motor can be obtained assuming it to be a homogeneous body. The aim of this modeling is to choose the appropriate rating of a motor so that the electric motor does not exceed its safe limit during the operation. Let us consider at a time t, let the motor having the following parameters. P1 is an heat developed, P2 is an heat dissipated, W is an weight of the active parts of the machine. So H is an specific heat, A is an cooling surface, D is an coefficient of heat transfer, theta means temperature. Now if time delta dt, let the temperature rise of the machine be d theta. Therefore heat absorbed in the machine is equal to heat generated inside the machine minus heat dissipated to the surrounding cooling machine. Since P2, if you are doing a cooling coefficients and thermal cooling and heating coefficients, we are going to get like this. So from the above equation we can find out the rise in temperature inside a working machine, which is very near to being accurate. And if you plot a graph for the variation of temperature rise with the time during heating and cooling, and thus the thermal modeling of a motor gets completed. The electric motors are used and control the electric drives are employed, but the operating time for all motors are not the same. Some of the motors runs all the time and some of the motors runs time shorter than the rest period. Depending on this, concept of motor duty cycle is introduced, and on this basis of duty cycle of the motor can be divided into 8 categories such as continuous duty, short time duty, intermittent periodic duty, intermittent periodic duty with starting, intermittent periodic duty with starting and breaking, continuous duty with intermittent periodic loading, continuous duty with starting and breaking, continuous duty with periodic speed changes, and continuous duty. Classes of motor duty. In continuous duty, this duty denotes that the motor is running long enough and the electric motor temperature reaches the steady state value. These motors are used in paper mills, drives, compressors, and etc. Classes of motor duty. This is a continuous motor duty. Short time duty. In these motors, the time of operation is very low and the heating time is much lower than the cooling time. So the motor cooks off to an ambient temperature before operating again. These motors are used in crane drives for household appliances value drives. This is a diagram for that. Intermittent periodic duty. Here the motor operates for some time and then there is a rest period. In both the cases, the time is insufficient to rise the temperature, so steady state value or cool it off to ambient temperature. This is seen at press and drilling machine drives. This is for some time rest period and again it will be going to be another. Intermittent period duty with starting. In this type of duty, there is a period of starting which cannot be ignored and there is a heat loss at that time. After that there is a running period and rest period which are not adequate to attain the steady state temperature. This motor duty class is widely used in metal cutting and drilling tools, drives, mine, etc. Intermittent periodic duty with starting and breaking. In this type of drives, heat loss during starting and breaking cannot be ignored. So the corresponding periods are starting period, operating period, breaking period, and restarting period. This is the continuous duty with intermittent periodic loading. In this type of motor duty, everything is same as the periodic duty, but here is a no load running period occurs instead of the rest period. Pressing, cutting are the examples of this system. Classes of motor duty: continuous duty with starting and braking. It also a period of starting, running and braking, and there is a no resting period. The main drive of a blooming mill is an example. Continuous duty with periodic speed changes. In this type of duty there are different running periods at different loads and speeds, but there is no rest period, and all the periods are too short to attain the steady state temperatures. Load equalization. Load equalization is the process of smoothing the fluctuating load. The fluctuate loads draws heavy current from the supply during the peak interval and also cause a large voltage drop in the system, due to which the equipment may get damaged. In load equalization, the energy is stored at light load, and this energy is utilized when the peak load occurs. Thus, the electrical power from the supply remains constant. The load fluctuations mostly occurs in some of the drives. For example, in pressing machine, a large torque is required for short duration. Otherwise, the torque is zero. Some of the other examples are rolling mill, reciprocating pump, planing machine, electric hammer, etc. In electric drives, the load fluctuations occurs in the wide range. For supplying the peak torque demand to electric drives, the motor should have high ratings, and also the motor will draw pulse current from the supply. The amplitude of the pulse current gives rise to the line voltage fluctuations, which affected to the load connected to the line. The problem of load fluctuations can be overcome by using the flywheel. The flying wheel is mounted on a motor shaft in non-reversible drives. In variable speed and reversible drive, flywheel cannot be mounted on the motor shaft, as it will increases the transient time to the drive. If the motor is fed from the motor generator set, the flywheel mounted on the motor generator shaft, hence it will be equalizes the load on the source but not load on the motor. Load equalization: when the load is light, the flywheel accelerated and stored the excess energy drawn from the supply during the peak load. The flying wheel decelerates and supply the stored energy to the load among within the supply voltage. Hence the power remains constant and the load demands is reduced. Moment of inertia of the flywheel requires load equalization is calculated as follows. Consider the linear motor speed torque curve as shown. Assume the response of the motor is slow due to the large inertia and hence applicable for transient operation. Different the equation. This is an load equalization. Determination of motor power rating for continuous duty. A maximum power demand of the load is ascertained. A motor with next high power rating from immediately availing rating is selected. Motor should also match load spreads requirements. Short time delay. This is determination. This is not required. Purpose of electric braking. Why we are going to use an electric braking? The purpose of applying braking can be termed as braking. Now coming to the term question, what is braking? We can classify the braking into two parts. One is a mechanical and electrical braking. Mechanical braking is left out here because as it is an electrical engineer side, we should only focus on electric braking. The purpose of electric braking is that the reducing the speed of any rotating machine. Brakes are used to reduce or seize the speed of motors. We know that there are various types of motor available: DC motors, induction motors, and the specialty. And properties of these motors are different from each other. Hence, these braking methods also different from each other. So that we are having a regenerative braking, plugging braking, and dynamic braking. These are the different types of brakings. Types of braking. it is enough. Today I will stop. Stop here. Thank you.